I gotta take a look at this. All right. So follow me, kids. Back to the Blaze. Because one of the ongoing stories that we need to discuss here is the absolute shit-eating that is going on at the DOJ about not releasing the Epstein Files. And how Pam Bondi talked a big game. This is her primary reason. She sent a big mean letter to Kash fucking Patel. Yes, it was very gross. She sent this big mean letter to him and like, I've had it, okay? Send me that information right now. And then allegedly she goes on, not even allegedly, according to her, she goes on fucking Hannity or Jesse Waters, whichever fucking show that was. It was Hannity, I think, and says, I've got a giant pile of documents, thousands of pages on my desk right now, and all we have to do is sift through them, and we're going to release them. And then a day later, they hand out these fucking binders, right? Hashtag Epstein, 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 which is your response anytime somebody says Russia, Russia, Russia. Hashtag Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Right? But they have been, like, it's been fucking radio silence from Pam Bondi about this shit since that stunt. Fucking nothing. No one is happier that Trump is fucking up the economy, failing in his ceasefires, and wasting everybody's goddamn time on these useless trade negotiations with countries that we have a surplus with. No one is happier than Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. So, House Sparks, Kenya is now a free country. Okay. Great. Was that in reference to what I said about Sudan earlier? All right. Anyways, yeah. So, this is over at the Blaze. They are doing everything they can to avoid talking about Hegseth and the tariffs, even when it means going after some of the Epstein stuff. Have the real Epstein files already been destroyed by the deep state? Now, if you'll recall, when were those alleged Epstein files gotten? During Trump. The arrest happened during Trump. He went to prison. He went to jail during Trump. He was going to go to prison, and they were preparing for trial. He died in prison during Trump. And all of his, the raid at St. James Island, Little St. James Island, happened during Trump. That's what, and apparently Trump had all that time during his presidency to lock that shit down. And, I don't know what the case is. I don't know why the deep state only wants to hide this shit or destroy it under Trump.
Senator Ron Johnson was on with Benny Johnson earlier today. And
no relation, both lunatics, though.
And I think I don't know that it's going to be picked up by mainstream media, but he kind of disclosed what I think would be a pretty big deal within the federal government, which is that the feds are they have been caught now destroying a whole bunch of files that we have been wanting to get to the bottom of for a very, very long time. Here's that.
We have thousands of recordings versus one Zapruder film. It's not just the senator that has a record of email communications, for example. So, I mean, the Dr. Morin's email, we didn't get that from the agencies. We got that from a university that email was sent to. So there's a lot of people, we gather information from all kinds of different sources, and we cross-reference, when we're asking for certain communications. If we get it from one party outside the government and we don't get it from people within the government, that's how we have evidence that they're either covering something up or they've already tried to destroy evidence. But again, in today's electronic world, it's hard to destroy, particularly electronic evidence.
But they're still doing it. But you were able to find cases of them doing it.
Yeah, well, again, my guess is they are. And again, the fact that
the old guesswork from Ron John.
Nothing responsive to our subpoena with Tom Shimabukuro indicates that, yes, he absolutely destroyed evidence, that we had sent letters of, preservation of record letters to repeatedly to the agencies not to destroy this evidence.
So it's Epstein files, 9/11 files, COVID records, the JFK assassination, And you have got, I mean, listen.
Sorry. So when Trump is in office, suddenly they start destroying files related to all these things. Hold on. Okay, so Dr. Moran, Ron Johnson. Allow. Okay, allow. Ron Johnson confronts doctor he claims engaged in cover-up with Fauci. Okay, so that's what he's talking about here. So he's talking about the lab leak stuff. This is the Dr. Moran guy. I don't know why it's like Epstein and all this stuff. I'm fairly certain this is who he's talking about. Is the
Thank you, Senator Johnson. You're recognized for your questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I want to thank you and the ranking member for holding this very important hearing. We need a lot more of these. I want to thank all the witnesses for your very detailed testimony. And I'd encourage anybody viewing this hearing to go online and read the detailed testimony. I think you'll find it very difficult to not come away.
Well, I mean, obviously it was. It's all been erased, so I'm going to assume it was erased.
Reading that we may not have a smoking gun, but the circumstantial evidence is strong.
Okay. Yeah, and?
It was a man-made virus and that it was probably leaked from a lab. Probably.
Sorry. If it's a man-made virus, it didn't naturally come, so it had to leak from the lab. That's not, the probably's on the second part, not the first part.
The Wuhan Institute of Virology. One thing that's convinced me very early on, I've been convinced this quite some time, is just the cover-up. I mean, the fact the Chinese took down data sets. So all of a sudden you couldn't find a smoking gun because it no longer exists. And we'll probably.
Okay, fine. Who's he talking to? The Moran guy. I want to see, like, he goes through that guy's stuff. He's like, it says he confronts the doctor. So here.
Virus.
Of course, sir. I mean, that would include us at the very beginning.
That's progress. That's progress because, again, an awful lot of people's reputations were ruined by this cover-up and by the accusations of people being conspiracy theorists. Now, Dr. Ebright, the purpose of this hearing really is to talk about the danger of gain-of-function research.
All right. So, anyways, they have all this information online. I guess Moran's who that guy was, and he was talking to him. Okay. So, I don't know how this ends up being 9/11 as well. Unless they went into that further.
That's not a bridge too far for me. We talk about this all the time, especially.
Yeah, now that Trump's in office, he's all for purging stuff. Like if the truth comes out about 9/11, you'll find out that he didn't go down and help. He was always full of shit. He didn't see people dancing on rooftops. He made up all that stuff. And the only evidence of his involvement in 9/11 was saying that he now has the tallest building in the south part of Manhattan.
With it was something that I will admit that I never really considered. I never considered the type of problems that you could have by having an election in November and not turning over the administration until January.
Immediately, yeah.
What? Like, I understand that they're maybe not like literally immediately, maybe not that hour, right? I get it. But why would you give that administration that much time to cover up their tracks?
Oh, hi, stupid. Real quick. Okay, first of all, it's not time for the administration. The administration is legally elected from one date to the next. They get 4 years. And that 4 years is sacrosanct. They get to serve those 4 years. That's what the voters said. The voters decided, I want this person to serve for 4 years, starting this date and ending on this day. But you can't have the election the day before and make the decision day of, because what happens if the election goes, it takes them longer to count or process it. Back in the old days, they used to have to do everything on a fucking wagon with horses and bags of votes taken to electors, and then those people had to come into the country. So that's why you needed time, stupid. Also, I would agree. I guess we wouldn't have had January 6th if we'd have done it that way.
Delete evidence, to destroy documents. I realize it's a little bit hard.
Hey, fuckhead, they're destroying those documents now, according to Ron John.
To do these days, as he mentioned. But I mean, are we going through all of these lengths to make sure that we are finding out the bottom of not just COVID, not just, 9/11, we should have found out a very long time ago. The Epstein Files, JFK, you have RFK, you have who the hell the assassination attempts, you've got Ryan Routh and Thomas Crooks. We don't know very many things about these people. So
sorry, Trump said they're just nuts. I don't know what else to tell you. Ask him. He's the president of the United States. He appointed every one of the people you're bitching about. And according to him, in a recent interview with Greg Kelly, he said there really is nothing there. There's no conspiracy. They're just morons. They were just psychopaths.
Like, to know that this type of thing is happening within the federal government, like, where is Pam Bondi?
It's a good question. Where would she be? Florida? On a beach? Hanging out? Maybe she's trying to get rid of DEI hires?
Bondi on this.
It's happening as we speak. It's not just that it happened in those, in the 2 months.
Jocko, what are you doing, man? You can't do that to her. You can't undermine her bullshit. You can't point out the fact that the shit Ron Johnson's talking about happened since Trump took over again and during his time while he was president when Epstein was arrested in the first fucking place. That doesn't help. Way to go.
And
right. It's still happening.
And it is.
Yeah. Weird. It's almost like it's being ordered done from the top.
Why can he not take office the next day? There's no reason.
Yeah, there is, because counts and recounts, the processing of doing that once he's certified. There's a transition point. Even if they took it over immediately, there would be all you do is move back those dates. So if anybody was like, okay, these are the last 3 months. Oh, no, these are the last 3 months. Like, the fuck out of here.
The White House in 6.5 hours, is it? They move someone out and move in painting and...
Yeah, that's the fucking window dressing, stupid. That's the furniture.
Art on the wall. No. Take office the next day. When do you see a CEO get fired and they go, you know what, you had 60 days to clear up your tracks and cook the books, and then the next CEO will come in? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but for that analogy to work, you'd have to get rid of the CEO and the board all at once. Whoever he appointed and put in positions would all have to go at the same time. So yeah, there would be a transition. And as a matter of fact, like, how about how about we don't give anybody like, once you're fired, you're fired. Nobody gets 2 weeks notice. No CEO has to contracts don't mean anything. If you sign on for a time of contract or somebody has hired you for a specific amount of time, ditch out at the last second. And if the voters say 4 years, what they really mean is 3.5. How about just shut the fuck up and stop litigating something that won't solve the problem you're talking about? Is the fact that you elected a crook and you can't imagine why he would hide all this shit that he's directly involved in.
It's happening today.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Today.
No, you're not. You're all stupid. But yes, it is happening right now.
This is what back to your earlier comment of this whole kumbaya, it's all good now and everybody is on brand. No, they're not.
No, it's weird. It's almost like electing Jeffrey Epstein's best fucking friend and wingman for a quarter century threw a fucking monkey wrench in that shit.
They're not on brand. There's factions inside that is absolutely against the American people.
All right, simmer down. The deep state is not like destroying evidence in spite of Pam Bondi. They're not getting rid of this stuff so Pam Bondi doesn't have access to it. Shut the fuck up.
Today in law enforcement, and I've said this from the beginning. The
problem is cops. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, it's not because Pam Bondi, lived 6 blocks from fucking Jeffrey Epstein, and Donald Trump's never lived more than a 9-minute cab ride from Jeffrey Epstein his fucking whole adult life. It's not that. It's cops don't want this stuff seen because they desperately want to protect an elite group cabal of pedophiles they're not a part of because one day they might.
Material's gone. The stuff the American people want, where you can actually take it to court and prosecute the buyers of the children. Not just give me the names on the list. A name on the list is, you can't prosecute a name on a list. Well, he was on the airplane. Does nothing. The real meat and potatoes that's needed. They've had 4 years to destroy this stuff.
No, they had 2 years to do it while Trump was president last time.
before Trump got elected. And then after he gets elected, he pardoned half his family the week before Trump takes office, for crying out.
Yeah, but they didn't have anything to do with the Epstein shit. The Bidens are no Biden ever has been on a flight with Epstein. Multiple Trumps have.
There's such crazy things going on. I don't know where Pam is.
She's at the Justice Department following Trump's orders to hide all this shit from the public.
I know. She's on Fox News. That's where she is. She's doing hits with Sean Hannity. I know our friend Jesse Kelly, who, by the way, check out his show tonight. I am on.
No interest. Thank you.
Along with my wonderful colleague Liz Wheeler. I guess they decided to do like a Blaze, a Blaze special on Jesse Kelly's show. But it's what I was saying to him as well. But it's so frustrating.
No, it's actually not. I mean, you could pretty much understand it. It's just straight up criminal. The only reason you're frustrated is because you have put up a wall between yourself and reality, and reality is knocking, and this is what bullshitting yourself feels like. I don't know what to tell you.
When you look at, again, to Yaku's point, we don't have very much time. And we've got...
Why not? You don't have 4 years?
An administration who, I don't fault President Trump for this because it's...
Yeah, because he doesn't run anything.
Possible to get rid of all of these people overnight.
Hey, name one person who is erasing Jeffrey Epstein info against the will of Donald Trump.
However, we need to be blowing and going. Like,
So talk to Laura Loomer then.
If you're not loyal to the cause and the agenda, you got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he said to Pam Bondi, and when she said, I feel like we should release all this Epstein stuff, and that was Trump's threat to her.
It's not personal, it's just business.
Yeah, I think what people don't truly understand
is that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were best friends, almost as close as he was with Roy Cohn. And Donald Trump's only had 2 friends in his whole fucking life, and both of them were massive pedophiles. Happened to anybody, I guess. Right, Matt?
is that if you were, look, Benjamin Franklin said, didn't it, I've given you a constitution, constitutional republic if you can keep it.
Yeah.
America was only ever going to be taken down from the inside.
Jesus Christ. Get over yourself. We're talking about the fact that Donald Trump is protecting himself from Jeffrey Epstein evidence that directly implicates him. This isn't, don't drag the rest of us in, democracy and federalism, into this, like, patently obvious, baseline, shit-heel, grotesque political corruption. I mean, that's all it is. You don't even need a giant fucking conspiracy. It's just lame.
And I think people can't comprehend this. I see this in the UK, right? In the UK, they're importing hundreds of thousands of fighting age males.
Jesus Christ. Maybe they're trading them for Russell Brand.
And the way that the majority of the people in Britain look is they go, oh, okay, they're migrants. You might not like it, but they're migrants. It doesn't matter. What they don't understand is just because you stop making war with them doesn't mean that they've stopped making war with you.
Sorry, what does this have to do with fucking the fact that Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein were best buddies, and the evidence that is being destroyed, any evidence that you have that the evidence is being destroyed, is only happening when Trump is president?
If America's going to get taken down, and we have enemies all over the planet.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Trump doesn't have any on Little St. James Island anymore, but
America's going to get taken down. It's never going to be taken down militarily. You know that we know this. It's by far the strongest military on the planet. Can't touch it. But if you want to take it down from the inside, that's the way it's done.
Oh, by electing a pedophile, an unrepentant pedophile who's friends with other pedophiles? I don't know. Maybe he has a point. So Matt Marsden basically calling for Trump to step down immediately because he will lead to the destruction of the United States. And apparently everybody at the Blaze agrees.
And until we get into this mentality that there are people that are actively trying to destroy the United States of America, I know it's very difficult for us to comprehend.
No, it isn't. I mean, Stephen Miller's on TV almost every day.
What these people are doing is trying to take down the United States of America as...
And the way you do it is by letting Donald Trump insist that his DOJ not release evidence of Epstein's crimes because he's a part of it. It's fucking brilliant. How did the Iranians get this smart, Matt? Jesus Christ.
It stands, or as it has done for however many years since.
This is just dumb. This has like totally, talk about like fucking straw manning the shit. It's just red herring after red herring. This is absurd.
Founding. They want to destroy it. They want to, Barack Obama.
Who's they, motherfucker?
Right? I want to fundamentally change the United States of America. He's done a good job, right? The only way, and I believe this is why Elon's doing.
Well, by eliminating the unfairness that existed.
He's doing, this is why Trump is doing what he's doing. The only way to do this is to massively shrink the government, like massively shrink the government. So what you're seeing is...
No, it isn't. What the fuck does this have to do with them? If you shrink the government, you have fewer IGs sitting around watching who's shredding Epstein files. What?
Every single, to our point about the judges stopping this.
Okay, I don't think he's buying what Matt is selling. Matt, what the fuck are you talking about? Pull your head out of your ass, man.
Happening, the federal judges stopping this thing from happening. No, you can't fire those people. Can you imagine working in a job where you can't get fired for doing something wrong or...
Yeah, they weren't doing anything wrong.
Something bad? Well,
they weren't doing anything bad. They were doing their job. A job that had been funded and created by an act of Congress and that they had not undone. And the president's job is to carry out and faithfully execute the laws of the United States. And a budget is a law. You have discretionary ability in that budget, but you do not have outside of that budget. You're given a window where you can fuck around with some of the money for your priorities. But some of it is established wholly by an act of Congress, and the president signs that. And it has more value than an executive order, dumdum. And if you want to talk about destroying our system from within, it's assholes like this that think you should be able to upend and chuck out every fucking treaty or bill or law that we put into because the new president just decides on a fucking whim in his vapor-filled spongy head in stage 5 syphilis decline that he just thinks tariff is a pretty word.
Quality of it. You heard about the subpoena, right? Has anyone ever been punished for not following a subpoena?
Yeah.
Yes, Jim Jordan.
Steve Bannon.
That's all you need to know, right? One guy, right? There's never anyone being held accountable from the left, ever. And they know it. So all they're doing, to your point, is they're waiting it out. They're waiting it out.
Look.
Last word.
Doge goes and collects 230 million here. Cut 2 billion from Harvard. Cut. Corruption. Thank you for cutting the funding. Who's investigating the corruption? Who's prosecuting the ones who were corrupt?
You're assuming they're corrupt. All they're doing is cutting shit they don't like. That's not corruption. That's not even waste or abuse or fraud. You just don't like it. It's a shift in priorities. You don't get to, everything you prioritize isn't suddenly legal and perfect and worthwhile, and everybody else's priorities are suddenly criminal. It doesn't work that way. It never fucking will. And if it did, we wouldn't be a country. And talk about destroying the country from within. God damn, these people are stupid. Honestly, did somebody like wrap the fucking building in plastic at the Blaze, and over the last few months, it is just, they've just used up all the oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you for cutting the funding. Thank you for.
They didn't cut the funding. They didn't cut the funding. Funding was largely established by Congress. That they'll get sued and they'll lose. They have to go through regular channels. You have some proprietary stuff that you can go after, but you're going to have to reestablish a bunch of it. It's going to cost us a bunch more money in the end. It's a waste of time.
Funding Planned Parenthood and who knows what else.
Oh, you mean driving up death rates among newborns and mothers?
But there was corruption, right? So who's going after those who were corrupt? There's still.
You're assuming there is. Maybe there wasn't any corruption. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe they looked as hard as they could fucking look and they couldn't find any that didn't involve Republicans. Maybe that's why. I mean, I think, do you think Elon Musk and his crew, if they found a Democrat that was living off the tit and just stealing money left and right, that they wouldn't throw that over to Pam Bondi and go after them like hard as nails? Do you think they're going to let them slide? And if they did, why? Because if you look at that one, you have to look at this one. And if you found something you thought was skimming in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, you find a Republican that was doing it in the millions or tens of millions, and that's why you leave it alone? That's why Pam Bondi's not doing anything? I mean, the answer is right in front of you. If you just Occam's razor. If the idea that Trump or Doge or Pam Bondi is protecting Democrats who are committing fraud against the taxpayers is fucking nuts. It's just stupid at its base. And if you can't see that, well, if that's not the case, if they're finding it and they're not prosecuting it, then maybe they're not finding Democrats that are doing it. They're finding their own. And they don't want attention drawn to their own, so they're not prosecuting it. That's why. There is no legit reason why they wouldn't throw every Democrat to the fucking wolves if they found out that they were committing direct fraud, if they had evidence of that fraud. But the only reason they wouldn't bring these things up and wouldn't forward charges on fraud, specifically if they knew it existed, if they knew it was a Democrat, of course they'd forward it. But if they found out it was a Republican, maybe that's why they're not.
Government.
Yep. You're right.
Yep. No, he's not. You're all blind and are refusing to see, except for Matt, who's just bullshitting to avoid the topic entirely, that the only reason that they're not forwarding it is because clearly there are a bunch of Republicans up to their assholes in this stuff, and they know it.
Got to go.
And they've got to go. Well, they've got to go, and they need to be made an example of, because otherwise, to your point, it will just continue happening. I mean,
if it's happening, if you've caught it at all, which you haven't, again, why wouldn't Republicans in charge of everything right now go after people if there's obvious fraud going on? It would seem like the easiest political fucking win in the world.
their prison time needs to be served for all of these crimes, actual criminals. These are the actual criminals. As much as they wanted 91 indictments, 34 felony counts against Donald Trump, these were the actual criminals the entire time. And
who? Name one. Who? Anybody? Just fucking one program. Tell us all one program that's clearly fraud and that the people should go to jail for it because they were clearly not spending the money they were supposed to be spending on the thing they said they were spending the money on. Knock yourself the fuck out. And we'll all be like, okay, fuck them. Especially those of us that care about the issues that they are purported to care about, that they are allegedly stealing money from.
Needs to be some sort of vindication and retribution for that. I don't care if that sounds harsh. It's just the truth.
It's just fucking gibberish. Like, again, it doesn't sound harsh. It sounds like you're doing everything you can to try and hide from the fact that it's fucking Donald Trump. Good Lord. Yeah. Why aren't you clamoring about Pete Hegseth? You know full fucking well that battle plans as they're happening are classified top secret. And that posting them on Signal is fucking illegal. You know it. Shut the fuck up. Stop. Stop what you're doing and admit it. What about fucking Hillary Clinton, unless you can find battle plans on her fucking server that made it to the surface because you heard about them, because you didn't. And all those 30,000 emails ultimately were found, and the classified stuff on them, what was it? Was it battle plans? Was it strategic locations of CIA buildings? No, it was fucking bean dip and her schedule to go to fucking weddings, which technically the Secretary of State's schedule is classified, but it's not top secret. And the minute it happens, it no longer matters because everybody knows where they were because the Secretary of State gives statements from almost every place they go. God damn, this is lazy. And Catherine's like, hey, lady, they have to have a trial first. Oh, we're not even at that point. They're not even admitting who the fuck would be called to the carpet on this shit. Jesus. And like everything to just try to not talk about this stuff. Hold on. And the gold, what? Presidential gold Arium note for, oh God. Oh, he's dead. Another meme coin. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, dear. All right. Son of a bitch. Can we do this tomorrow? Do the whole thing tomorrow afternoon before I go to, because I'll be in LA. But I got to do stuff for the show this weekend. I got recording to do. So, yeah. God damn it. This is his full President Trump on judicial insurrection, tariffs, 100 days in office. This is his exclusive interview. This is why he wasn't at why is that? There you go. Why? Jesus, Trump looks like shit. God damn. Yeah, long days and lonely nights. This is why Glenn was like reporting from somewhere else. Yeah, in the last little like the last couple of shows, why he's been out of the studio and wearing like t-shirts to work. Philip's okay, yes. I know it's tempting, CSL. Jesus Christ. It's just so fucking gross. But we're going to have to give it some time. And you know me, 48 minutes of that asshole will take me 2 hours. Minimum. Yeah, Trump looks like shit. And I think part of the reason why you saw, what's her name, Sara Gonzalez on the Blaze saying we don't have a lot of time, is because I think they're all around him. And they're like, you know, everything they said about Biden while Trump was in office is true about Trump. Can I send you on your way on a let's see if I can find this thing. I'm gonna show you. Yeah, where's the yeah? Try to find this. Yeah, here you go.
100 days job.
Hold on, let me show you this. This we'll end on this because I feel like this will be great. First 100 days, job approval, 100-day mark. How's Trump doing? Is he super popular? Is it mandate city? Nope. He's actually, not only is he the lowest of all the presidents, he's lower than he was the last time he was the lowest of the last 4 presidents. Bush 63, Obama 62, Biden 54% at this point at 100 days. Trump was 45 in his first term is 45. Now he's 44. Whoops. And this is from, obviously, you know, the liberal media over at Fox News.
Job approval. If you look at our new Fox News poll at 100 days job approval compared to other presidents, there you see the president at 44%.
Plus or minus 3 points. I'm going with 3%. I'm going with minus.
And you see his first term at 45% at this mark, the 100-day mark. We have other new polls that are revealing some concerns about the economy. Let's talk about that, the politics.
Revealing. Where's my popcorn?
And these polls. Fox News chief political analyst Britt Hume joins me. Britt, you've looked at these. What strikes you?
Well, a couple of things. There's a list of issues that we asked people what they felt about, and the president is underwater in all but one, and that one is the border.
Oh, yes. And wait till they find out that he's got to fund the border, or those soldiers will be standing down there in the fucking heat away from their families with no overtime pay.
Where he's got high approval on that, majority approval. He's above water. Everything else, including immigration, which for some reason was separated from the border in this particular poll, he's a little bit underwater on immigration.
Yeah, that's because, according to himself, there's still fentanyl pouring into the country.
He's way down on, right at the moment, on the economy, and even way down further on tariffs, which are, of course, part of that.
Yeah, the most beautiful word in the world. I agree. I'm starting to agree with him that it's the most beautiful word because it singularly is his worst polling topic.
So, you know, foreign policy rating isn't good, and so on. My thought about this is not really unexpected in my view, Brett.
Well, yeah, he's a fuck up. So he was going to fuck up. We know he's a fuck up, and he was going to keep fucking up. Sure.
The overall approval rating, as you noted earlier, is 44%. So much of what he's undertaken remains a work in progress. And, you know...
Yes, it can get much worse.
They haven't got any trade deals yet. You know,
Yet's doing a lot of the heavy lifting.
The tariffs are out there, and people are worried
They're out there
about them and don't like them. We don't know how that's going to play out.
Poorly? I'm just going to go with poorly. They're going to, yeah. He's going to shit the bed again.
We don't know how the foreign policy endeavors are going to pan out. We don't.
Oh, I do. They're not going fucking anywhere, and that a lot of the European countries have realized that if they just suck up to him and give him a bunch of pomp and circumstance, he'll agree to whatever they say anyways, in spite of whatever the people around him are saying, and he's weak that way.
We'll have peace between Ukraine and Russia, which he promised.
Yeah, he promised in less than 24 hours.
So there's a lot of work to be completed, which, if done successfully, I think would dramatically elevate his current approval rating.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah, again, if I don't know about you, chat room, but I don't think Britt Hume thinks that's going to work out any more than you and I do. I think he knows for a fucking fact that it won't, that it ain't, that Trump is shitting the bed in every area, and the only reason he's polling better with the border is because, like I've always said, his piece of shit wall didn't work. Didn't work. So, you know, and it's not going to. He's going to keep. You're going to have to keep people posted down there forever. Like it's the fucking Vatican, and you're going to have to fund that. That's going to be a part of the budget. What do you think the military budget is going to be on a completely like personnel heavy cover of the border, the way Trump wants to do it for the rest of his term, in the billions of dollars, never mind the foreseeable future? What do you think, like, the militarizing the entire U.S. border will cost? In terms of, and never mind the fact that, you know, we still need a lot more immigrants coming in. If it's possible, let's see. Okay. Oh yes, thank you, CSL and Andrea. Yeah, about the show tomorrow night. I'm working on it. I might be able to do a link to the show on one channel, post that so people can watch it, and then we'll work on it. Anyways, much love to you guys. I got to take off and do some work. I was only going to stay an hour. Look what happened. You know why? Because I love you guys. That's why. Because you're awesome, and I appreciate you, and I can't leave you hanging, and we have to deal with this stuff, and we have to see it fearlessly, stare this dipshittery in the face, and realize, and I hope you realize while we're watching this, that a lot of the big fucking spook story about Trump and what he's capable of doing, and how they've got this big fucking secret society machine that they're going to move the deep state out, and they're going to, like, it's all nonsense. It's all garbage. It's all a sales pitch. Trump's whole thing about, I think they want to make a deal. I think they're going to make a deal. I think making a deal is going to make a deal. It's like muscle memory patter from when he used to be in real estate. It's honestly, he's just saying it out of habit. He's just saying, deal. I think they want to make a deal. I think a deal will be a big, beautiful deal. And what we're going to do together will be something very special, I can tell you. Like, it sounds like a real estate deal on a shitty piece of property he's trying to unload. And this idea that he's some sort of master planner, or that even the people around him are capable of even pleasing their own, should be part of the conversation. I insist. And if I'm the only person pointing out that MAGA is getting very upset with Donald Trump, and they are slowly but surely, they're, the ones who aren't just flat out bullshitting themselves like the assholes we saw on the Blaze tonight, but everybody else is inching towards that. Wait a second, maybe I've been had. I don't know that that means they will come over to our side, but it sure shit means they'll abandon his. And that's good enough. For now. That's good enough. All right, I'll see you guys tomorrow. I got to finish doing my work for the show this weekend, and then I'm driving tonight like an asshole so that I can be there in the morning to do the show. If I work really late, I might leave in the morning after the morning show and not do an afternoon show. I want to be able to do all my shows tomorrow. That's the tough part, because there's that 4-hour chunk, and then stand-up, and then the drive back, and then radio. Where's that bullet train? Get here as fast as possible. Son of a bitch. All right. Hit the like, share the show, subscribe. All the stuff I forget to say. Patreon.com/HalSparks. If you've done the Venmo before, send me a super chat or a Venmo, or buy me a cup of coffee. If you think the service I'm doing here is worth it, chuck me $1. Somehow, wherever it is. And on Facebook, you can use stars. It's now, I think, working again, maybe. And if you can't do it, if you just don't have it, just thank the people who do. That's all I ask. Because they help keep the show afloat, and I am so grateful I can barely stand. Whenever I get a Venmo on my phone, Summer will tell you, sometimes I get teary. It's silly.